So I hardly do this at all because, not to say that I think reaction content is stupid, but I feel like if that's like your whole channel, I think like you have no original idea. I'm gonna actually react to something. I'm gonna react to the sad state of modern fighting games by Best Opinion Haver. That is a name, let me tell you, and like, we're gonna see. Now, opinions are like assholes, right? Everybody's got one, and some of them really stink. So let's see if this guy's opinion absolutely stinks, or if it's like straight up, you know, like head on, like it's just a really good opinion. Now, we'll tell you the first thing that I've noticed about this video before I clicked on it, because my boy Perfect Combo linked it to us in the Discord. I do not like this thumbnail. And the reason why I do not like this thumbnail, it's not because, you know, he really thinks that Street Fighter 6 is slop. Street Fighter 6, like, off base, like, is actually a really decent fighting game, but it did boil down to nothing but just like, you know, raw drive rush, you know, all that stuff. But it's a very good video game though, with like all the features and stuff that it has in it. The fact that he put Third Strike as peak, and I'm gonna let you know something right now, because like I don't like revisionist history, so I'm gonna let you know something right now. The only reason this game is absolutely relevant is because of the Daigo and Justin Wong moment. This game literally almost killed the franchise. So I just want people to know that all the iterations of 3, it literally almost killed Street Fighter. We almost didn't have Street Fighter 4. He should have put Alpha. I'm just saying, that's a better Street Fighter game. All right, here we go.
Have y'all noticed that fighting games suck huge ass now? What was once my favorite genre is a complete shell of itself. The culture and community of these games has never felt more dead. We've got developer-sponsored events where the commentators look afraid to say anything negative about the game. The event's only hosted so some guy in a suit could try to sell you one character for a third of the cost of the base game. And what the fuck was this latest generation of games anyway? Tekken 8 is so bad, Harada just gave up. Soul Calibur
Tekken 8 is horrible.
Soul Calibur 6's 45-second long supers killed the franchise.
That's not what killed the franchise. First of all, I refuse to believe that the Soul Calibur franchise is dead. The big detriment to Soul Calibur 6, when it finally was getting its own big world tour and getting more and more and more notice, because the community was being built. It was building up. It's the fact that it was around the pandemic and all these other games were either being updated to have better netcode, or new games were coming out and they had good netcode. So people that were stuck in the house, that could actually play online, you know, with their friends and play randoms and stuff reliably, still play it seriously and reliably, even over the internet. This game did not get that netcode, which is still insane to me that it didn't. Tekken 7 got updated to get the rollback netcode, but not Soul Calibur 6. It wasn't the supers. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. I don't really like supers in Soul Calibur either. I don't like meter. I don't like Soul Charge. I don't like Reversal Edge. But the reason that it, quote unquote, died is because of the lack of good netcode. So all momentum basically got halted. Lo and behold, you got tournaments like Fate's Crossing and stuff that are actually keeping the game alive. More people are getting back on and trying the game again. There's still been hella tournaments for the game. You know, people had to use like Parsec and stuff, but there's still been like hella stuff going on for the game. And also another reason why the franchise may seem dead for right now is because they basically have all of the Project Soul developers working on Tekken 8, which is why Tekken 8 is how it is. Soul Charge is Heat. They got the idea of adding supers in the Tekken 7 and on the Tekken 8 because of Soul Calibur 5. Brave Edge does basically Heat move. No, it wasn't because of the supers. I need you to... I don't know if you actually understand fighting games now. Like, I don't know if you actually understand. We still got over 10 minutes, guys. I don't know if this guy actually understands. I get it. Like, if you don't like the super, because I don't either, but you can't say that's the reason. That it's not. It was something way bigger than that.
City of the Wolves is a Saudi money laundering scheme used as a way to funnel more money to Ronaldo's.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. He may be cooking with that one. Because, like, first of all, this last patch cooked basically any character that I was interested in. 2, they had the AI trailer, even though they got all that money. And 3, Kentro's not in the game yet. I'm not interested in it. Also, there's no neutral. SNK niggas cannot tell me anything about neutral, bro. You have none. But you're telling me neutral and all y'all doing is jumping all over the place and mashing. I'm just saying, bro.
But he keeps playing soccer over there. Things have never been more dire for the FGC, so let's go over the top 10 reasons things suck in the FGC right now. Number 10, games come out with barely any characters and then the devs charge a third of the price of the game for each subsequent one. Fighting games have the most scuffed DLC practices of any genre, and it's crazy to me. These games used to be for the broke people, by the way. There'd be one kid in the neighborhood that would have Smash Bros. Or like Tekken on a PS2 or something, and all the kids would go over there and play. Or there'd be an arcade cabinet in the bowling alley you could play for a quarter.
Okay, I get this one, because you're gonna have to spend sometimes even more than the purchase of just the base game itself to have everything, to have all the extra stuff, right? Characters and whatnot. Even though I think 2XKO is fucking garbage, I think their model is great because anytime a new character comes out, you just have to get 10,000 XPs by literally just playing the game. You can get the character, or you can buy the character, which I do think the characters are pretty expensive because they're literally like $10 each. That's 1,000 KO coins, but you can at least play and get the character, and you get XP by literally just doing anything in the game, pretty much, right? At least with Street Fighter 6, you have the rental fighter things. So if you have a bunch of those, you can at least try the character for like an hour, right? I do get what he's saying. It's ridiculous how much like you have to spend to keep up with anything. Shout out to the TOs, man. Y'all got a lot of money.
Now you gotta be a member of the damn global elite just to have all the characters in some of the worst fighting games ever made by humans. And they know which characters y'all want to play and intentionally leave them out just to sell them to you a year later when the hype for the new release is over.
Facts. Why do we have to pay for Armor King again? Why is Akuma a mainstay of Street Fighter? ELZ. Not even like a guy that like we haven't seen in a while. Put him in the game. We had to pay for him in Street Fighter 5 as well. Don't get me started on DOA, bro. Going into 6. Hey, you like Mai? You like Phase 4? You like Rachel? You know what I'm saying? You like Neo Tengu? Well, guess what? You gotta pay for him again. At one point, you couldn't even get Phase 4 without buying the first season pass. That was almost $100. And she was broken and tournament legal at that time, by the way.
There's no fixing this one, guys. Corporate greed is destroying every aspect of our lives, and it's not going to stop here. I really can't help with this one. Number 9. Every fighting game feels like it needs to be in 3D now, even if they don't have the resources to do so. Even the 2D ones are actually made in 3D now, and they use crazy camera tricks to make it look 2D. And listen, I'm not coming at ArcSys here. They do a good job, but look at KOF, dude. Look at any 3D rendered SNK game. Now look at KOF 13. This shit was beautiful.
Yeah, KOF 13 was beautiful. You used the worst example of KOF though, because 15 looks much better and City of the Wolves also looks really good. My nigga is cherry picking.
Why can't we get these sprites back?
My nigga is cherry picking.
With modern tech behind them. Sprites had so much character and charm.
But yeah, sprites are cool.
I don't care what anyone says. Like,
it wouldn't work right now, though.
The sprites, animations, and the sprites movement and everything.
It wouldn't work. Everybody likes higher res stuff. It wouldn't work.
Distinguish, or maybe you knew where your hurt boxes were better or something like that. It was just already great, and we might never see proper sprites again, and that really sucks. I don't think this is like a boomer fighting game enjoyer either. Like, let me know if you're a zoomer and you think these sprites look good. Like, I don't think that young people just can't handle games not being in 3D anymore. What looks better, guys? This one or this one?
You're still using the worst example. You're cherry picking. But then you gave points to ArcSys anyway, which even though Strive is one of the worst games out right now too. But all right.
Number 8, the devs think you're stupid and cannot learn hard things. Guilty Gear is the perfect
This is
franchise
facts.
to
This is
represent
facts.
this. Guilty Gear used to be one of the hardest fighting game franchises.
This is facts.
There was so much depth to Plus R. If you don't know, Plus R was kind of like Smash Melee in the way it had all these weird mechanics, some intentional and some not.
This is facts. This is why I dropped 2XKO finally.
Complex gameplay. But the devs thought you were too stupid, too much of a little baby idiot for that, so they got rid of corners so you wouldn't have to learn corner combos. And they made the health bars half the size so you wouldn't have to win neutral so much. And they removed half the character's special moves because that was too complicated for you. And they removed dead angle attacks because they didn't want to explain them in the tutorial. And they made character weights barely matter for combos anymore, so you only
Okay, now hold up though. Character weight, I'm gonna be real. We need to get away from weight. I know it's for depth, but like we really don't need weight classes, especially in 2D games. We don't really need it in like VF anymore, to be honest. Or at least like not a bunch of weight classes, right?
One combo. It's a joke, man. Who are they making these games for? They aren't selling any better nowadays, and people who play them are just bored.
I'm gonna be real with you too. They are selling it the most right now. Look, I hate it as much as you do, man, but they are selling buku right now. Are you kidding me? They are selling the most that they ever have right now. There's so many more people in getting the games, which is a double-edged sword of like making games easier, right? Cool, I got more people to play with. I got more of my family and friends, like, but they're not as good as me, and they can be like anywhere somewhat close to me, like off like base, right? I don't like that. I don't care. You can call me a gatekeeper. I put in work for years. Y'all niggas is tourists. Y'all should not be even getting around on me if I'm actually doing everything right. Because there'll be a lot of moments in these games, you'll do everything right and you'll still die. Tekken 8, Strive, Street Fighter 6, basically anything that's out, 2XKO especially. You'll be getting hit for literally no reason.
Nice job. Like the players that are just gonna buy the game and play story mode with a few of their favorites and drop the game, that doesn't change if the game has all those mechanics in it or not. So now you're just left with the players that are actually gonna play the game past the first month it's out, and now the game sucks for them because you took out all the fun mechanics that they enjoyed.
That is facts though.
Number 7 is the death of playing in person. Okay, so rollback netcode was a double-edged sword. If you don't know, we all used to play fighting games online using something called delay-based netcode. It added a delay to your inputs to make the online experience stable and make sure both players were seeing the same thing on their screens. The downside is it felt like you were playing in a vat of mud. It just wasn't fun pressing a button and seeing the move happen a half a second later, and it also wasn't good practice for players that wanted to play in like more competitive offline settings. Then rollback netcode came along, and honestly it's pretty impressive and great. Fighting games online have never felt better, but what this did was make everyone stay inside and grind alone all day. We used to be forced to go outside and meet each other at locals.
But I think we're also like just too far gone. We deserve to have better netcode. Fighting games in general, like how they play, they need to require some bit of skill. We don't need one frame links back. That never needs to come back. That was stupid. Another big thing that's making people like not like go to these like, you know, events, at least for the majors, they're getting so much more expensive because of sponsor stuff and all that. They become conventions now more than just like fighting game tournaments. Yeah, a lot of people ain't trying to spend money like that. In the locals, look, it can either be A, it's not an already established local, so there's no point. B, you do have an established local, and maybe you think, you know, I don't need to be around all these people. I can play online. Valid. Or C, your local's established. A lot of people go to it, but everybody fucking sucks, or they just play Smash. So you don't get anybody there to play your game, and you're not trying to waste your breath trying to pitch your game. Why would a Smash player want to play fucking DOA? Why would a Smash player want to play Guilty Gear? Why? Luigi ain't in that fucking game. Marie, stop it.
Play games or go to a friend's house to practice. And it was a really cool culture that developed from that. And really weird people that play like shameless losers would get shamed for it and either correct the issue or stop showing up, and you wouldn't have to deal with them anymore. Mostly. But now those players can safely grind 16 hours a day in their room, ensuring they and no one they run into online has any fun. Which leads me to number 6. The best players are all boring now. So those players I just talked about are now the best in the world. Where does that leave us? Well, it just means that instead of titans of charisma like Mango, Daigo, Tom Brady MK, we get shit like Arslan Ash and IBDW. And look, I know Arslan didn't get good grinding online. He was just playing offline Tekken in Pakistan. But this guy does not give a fuck. He doesn't even play characters he likes. Part of getting attached to these games and the scene is finding players you love to watch that play characters.
Yeah, that was about to say, Rev. Thank you. That is a design problem. Arslan would love to play somebody else. He does not want to play Nina and Anna. That nigga wanted to play June. I'm gonna let y'all know right now, that nigga was supposed to be playing June. The design of Tekken 8 yields him having to do that. And then you can say, okay, June is broken now. Everybody's broken. And also that made June boring. It made the game boring. So why not just pick the thing that's like ultra top tier and can almost at least 90% guarantee a win? That is the game's fault. That is the dev's fault. And plus you're at the top level. Why in the fuck would you not pick the character that would guarantee you success? I'm trying to be a champ, but if your game's design was better and the balance was better, you can be a champion with characters that you love. Hungry Box.
Love to watch. People loved watching Jimmy.
Smash scene dwarfs everything else here in Maryland. Yeah? Yeah, it does. And y'all have a good like Tekken scene and Soul Calibur scene and all that, but Smash is huge. Smash is huge.
For his insane Brian skills. They wanted to see taunt jet uppers and stuff.
You want to know why that was so much better? You want to know why everybody wanted to see that from Jimmy J. Tran? You want to know why Jimmy J. Tran switched to fucking Melty Blood? You want to know why? Because the balance in Tekken 7 pre like Kunimitsu, and honestly barely anybody used Akuma. You want to know why? Because the balance in Tekken 7 was better and Tekken 7 was just a better game. Yeah, it still had armor and rage arts and stuff, but it was still Tekken. It was still the last actual Tekken game. So you could play who you wanted to play in Tekken 7 pre-Kunimitsu and still do your thing. Hell, even with Kunimitsu, you could play who you wanted. And as long as you learned Tekken, you would excel. But in Tekken 8, you're running into nothing but the top tiers. That's all who would work. You think players are gonna fucking gimp themselves? Especially if they're at like the top 1%? Fuck no. But if the game's design was better and the game was actually more balanced and they didn't have to worry about exploding for no fucking reason, Arslan Ash would be playing June right now. Lowhigh would probably still be playing Brian. Nee damn sure would be playing Brian, which he does a lot now, but yeah, players will play the game you made even if it isn't fun. Facts. Especially if they're already the top 1%, they're not going to just stop playing your game. You need to make a good game first. The esports will come.
Stuff that normal players can't do. He did things no one else could because he dedicated his life to mastering one really hard character. But Arslan Ash just picks whoever the most annoying and hardest to deal with character is in the latest patch and abuses their dumbest attributes to win like 6 Evos, and we're all just sleeping.
Because he wants to win. This is a terrible point. This is a scrubby ass point. This is the biggest scrub quote. It's like, I get it, but there's a reason why that they're quote unquote abusing it, because the devs made it so. So it's either that or you gimp yourself out of winning Evo. You're at the top 1%. You're at the top of the fucking mountain. When the Eagles won that Super Bowl, right? That whole season they were doing the tush push. That shit was working, right? That shit was working. What they're gonna do? They're gonna stop doing it on 4th and 1? They're gonna stop doing that shit? No, nigga, we're trying to win a championship. But guess what happened this next year? Everybody adapted to how the tush push is. All the mechanisms of it. Who's not in the conference championship games right now? I mean, at its core, I mean, sports are balanced, right? You just have to figure out what to do against like certain players and stuff. This is how it is. There will be outliers, but they can still be stopped. Tom Brady has lost Super Bowls to Eli Manning. There's no such thing as mechanical abuse with characters because the devs made it so. There is such thing as abusing a garbage ass system. But again, that's what this top 1% will do because they want to win. It's the fact that devs don't know how to make actually anything fun and balanced and making you feel like you can put in work with whatever character you want to fucking use. That's the devs. You're a fucking scrub. You're a fucking scrub, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't want this video to turn into me like flaming you, but you're actually a fucking scrub. I'm gonna need you to go back to Skyrim, bro. You're actually a fucking scrub. Anyway.
This is within the rules, and he probably is the best player in the world right now, but it doesn't keep the scene alive and strong.
The scene's still going, too. That's what's fucked up about you, your opinion about that. The scene's still going, my nigga. Game sucks, but the scene is still going, my nigga. Like, ha! You're a fucking scrub.
5, we never get good new IPs. When was the last time a new fighting game IP came out? One that isn't some cringe anime shit. Yeah, I just caught you mid-typing. I genuinely don't know, though.
Okay, you know what?
Fighting game IPs just don't get attempted anymore. And I'm talking like its own thing, not like
that's facts, though,
where they're using the League IP or like Grand Blue or something like that. The genre has never felt like it needed new blood and a change of pace more. If a new IP that was free to play with purchasable cosmetics, good stylized graphics and music, gameplay that was easy to learn and hard to master, dude, it would do well.
The only mechanical abuse in Tekken is the unintentional movement tech, and they designed the whole game around that for 20 years. Yep. I haven't dropped a Reed Serlin in a while, but this guy needs to read Serlin's own. But yeah, playing to win, baby.
Shareholders, I promise.
Why the fuck won't you? Make the games better, though.
Don't make it stupid. Oh, what's that? We're getting the 13th installment of Mortal Kombat with all the same issues the last 5 had. Oh, okay, yeah. All right, okay. Number 4, balance patches don't give time for players to learn. The constant balance patches, man. Now, since these games...
I agree. Way too many patches sometimes.
...come out whenever corporate decided they would 2 years ago.
It's just too much.
How far along the game is in development. The devs feel the need to consistently balance them to fit their vision or whatever. And yeah, sometimes I guess that can be good. But you know what was really cool about old fighting games? Learning matchups. Smash Melee is a game where the matchups between the characters matters more than perhaps any other fighting game. And that's perfect because the game hasn't changed for 20 years, and guess what? The matchups change over time. What a concept. People are still finding out new strats. It pushes it.
But I will say this. We're also in an age where we do not need to deal with stuff that is like actually busted. Something is actually really busted, and that's like the only stuff you're seeing, especially in your tournaments, which tournaments, gotta remember guys, tournaments are the main advertisement for your fighting game. They are. That is your advertisement of like the limits that your game can be pushed. If there is only 1 to 3 characters that you're seeing, it might be time to adjust something. You don't need to do it every month, but at the same time, I mean, honestly, depending on you don't need to do it every month, maybe like every couple of months, right? Maybe like 2 to 3 months. Is this shit like actually running the game? Do we feel like people can like, really get through this? Like why is this character running everything like off rip? Let's see what's going on. Not just who everybody's complaining about. We need to really look at like our tournament scene, our main source of advertisement, and see like, what's really running the game right now. We might need to scale it back just a little bit for the integrity and the health of the game. So, again, going back to my point before, maybe people can feel confident with just their favorite character, and they feel like they can put in work with their favorite character, and like everybody should feel like they have a chance to win fucking Evo with whatever character they pick. People like to like rag on like MKX, but I always felt like I can win a whole fucking tournament. Have won tournaments with Scorpion. It's my favorite character, and that's who I wanted to win with. My second favorite character in that game was Kano, and I've won tournaments with that too. I've won locals with Kano. I should always feel like I can win, not just because of just my skill level, but because I feel like, I can like somewhat function in the matchup. Like nothing should feel like 11-1. Nothing should feel like I'm just gonna explode for no reason. There should be a reason why I'm dying. And in a lot of fighting games now, there isn't like a big reason why. So again, like a lot of the stuff that he's pointing out are dev issues, and a lot of them I agree with. But also some of the shit feels really scrubby. I'm sorry, bro. Your opinion fucking sucks. It's your opinion though, but you sound like a fucking scrub. I'm not gonna call to you like a lot of the FGC would. No, man, look, no, you're a fucking scrub, and you're actually one of the reasons why these shits are actually ending up like this right now. You fucking suck, and it's time for you to not suck. Am I the greatest? I'm not. But I know just how this man is talking. I would dog walk this man in a 1st to 10 on anything he picks. Anything he picks. I would dog walk this guy on even the worst fighting games.
Innovation. It's interesting.
I'm sorry. I have to be that guy. You need exposure to that. You are trash.
Are now being shown that they're actually viable and can beat characters that no one thought they had a chance against. But now when a game comes out, everyone just bitches about who's winning tournaments early until the devs nerf them. And it's normally like a low risk, high reward, easy to learn character that they do well with because the game just came out. But if the game was out for like a year, people would eventually learn how to beat them, and strategies would
That's true. That's what happened with JP. People actually just learn.
The game would become interesting. But all that meta progression is gone now. What's the point in learning a character that you like? Just play the best one in the moment, and when they get nerfed, pick the next best one. That's what Arslan's doing. And also the devs.
He has to do that though. He has to do that. Not just because he's at like the top of the fucking mountain, but he has to do that to, win. You just have to do that. It's like, I somewhat agree with what this man's saying in this section. Again, patch culture, not the greatest, but you also don't need to wait a year to patch your game. But you do want to let it marinate and like see how people can like mold to matchups. Like people were already getting used to the JP matchup. Like I actually find it really hard to win with JP now in Street Fighter 6. I was finding it hard before they even did that first initial nerf on his crouching heavy punch and stuff. And remember, JP doesn't have the greatest of like defensive tools. You can tell me OD Amnesia, I'll say it's easier to bait than a DP. It is. It probably shouldn't do that to grabs, but it does. So just bait it like you would bait a DP. I don't know why it's so different for JP. You also, against JP, automatically, if you're using a character with a fireball, you can meaty with a fireball. Unless that JP is going to wake up with level 3, and the startup for his level 3 is actually pretty slow, believe it or not, depending on where you're at on the screen. So, you know, you do want to be careful, but if you got him in the corner, you literally can just meaty with a fireball, and it literally kills everything except level 1. But depending on what strength of fireball you throw, you still might have a chance to block. And even if you get hit, unless it's going to kill you, the level 1 itself doesn't do that much damage. And yeah, I mean, you got to deal with, like, you know, a meaty setup, but, you know, it's not like you're absolutely dying because of it, right? So now the JP has to wake up parry, and then you can throw that. Or he's probably tap parrying because everybody just tap parries. So remember, they added more recovery to that, so you can do that. Also, by the way, JP doesn't win anything. I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, your character stock is only like how much they win like tournaments and stuff, but especially like the majors, that's a really good like sense of like where the balance is at. Kakeru was the only one winning anything, and he's won like the biggest things, but he didn't win many of the majors. Who was winning most of them? Whoever MinRD picked. So usually Blanca, right? Blanca. Luke won a lot of stuff. Ken won a lot of stuff. Ryu is winning a lot of stuff, or placing really high. Bison is placing really high. Mai is winning a lot of shit. Kakeru almost used Mai in last year's Capcom Cup finals, and his wife told him, fuck no, you use JP. Yeah, I agree. Gotta let it marinate. But at the same time, I think this is like a problem for both sides. I think it's a problem for like the devs, but then it's also a problem for like us, the community. Because yes, we will complain. We will complain a lot. But then like the devs, it's like if the devs don't listen, then like people are going to stop playing the game because they're going to feel like, you know, well, you're not listening to us. But then if they listen too much, then you're going to get NRS games. And I love NRS games, but they patch them way too fucking much. Way too fucking much.
Just
off cuff, I'd say have quarterly majors and then don't patch until a month after so people can respond to the tournament tech. Yeah. Because sometimes they'll do these patches right before a fucking major. They did a patch for MK1 right before Final Combat for Cyrax and shit, which I understand why they did it. I don't know why they spent so long. They should have did that after EVO. If they did that right after EVO, because like Cyrax was mostly ruling EVO until, you know, of course, Grand Finals was, of course, a Johnny Cage mirror. I don't know why they waited so long, and then they literally waited the week before Final Combat to drop a fucking patch. Like, are you serious? Especially your championship event.
Balance with like a dartboard. They just throw the dart at the dartboard, they hit Manon, the worst character in the game, and they're like, nerf her. So, yeah, it's just frustrating. Why can't we just let these games breathe a little, guys? Number 3 is hitboxes. The fucking hitbox control.
All right, bro. You about to piss me off. You about to piss me the fuck off, dog. You had a point, and now you back to the scrub shit. So before we get into whatever his point is, all right. I wanna let y'all know something. If y'all watch the stream for a while, watch my videos and all that, you know that I am a hitbox player now. I play on Leverless. I do. I play on what do I play on right now? I have a Hot 42. I forgot which one this was, but it's like all black. It's nice. I have a Hot 42. Right? Leverless doesn't make that many things easier. It really doesn't. And yeah, it gives you some shortcuts, but let me let you into a little secret. Most tournament scenes, they require you to use a different SOCD, so you can't walk forward and do flash kicks and shit like that. Yeah, so like devs can do that, or the people that make the Leverless, like, you know, they can drop the firmware update. Like, you know, you can't play it like in Capcom events if you have like the regular SOCD. Also, yes, you can SOCD on the older pads for a lot of these games too. It's like, it's literally just an expanded pad. Honestly, this man's about to piss me off. But yes, it doesn't make everything easier. Manchishima can tell you too over in the YouTube chat, because I think he also plays on Leverless. It doesn't make everything easier. Some things are easy, like doing wave dashes in like the older Mortal Kombats. like doing wave dash in Tekken, kinda depends on which side you're on. Like DPs and shit like that, like instant DPs and shit like that. But I mean, DP, like, you know what I mean?
Controllers, dude. You know these things used to be labeled cheating? You can do things on these controllers that were never possible before. It was just obviously cheating.
They weren't itself labeled cheating. The only time that they were labeled cheating is when like a person had like literally like fucking 27 buttons on their controller. So there were other extra directional inputs and stuff. The regular ones, they're fine. It was the shit that like Full Schedule had back in the day to make him be able to do all the Sea Viper stuff in Marvel a lot easier. It was all those extras. It wasn't just this.
Cheating. It didn't need to be explained to you. You saw someone with one of these at the local, you made fun of them, and
the text he put up talks about D-pad analog as, so yep.
They came back with a...
This guy sucks. This video fucking sucks. You're a scrub, dude. I'm sorry. Like, you're actually a scrub. Please stick to Skyrim, bro.
The next week. But then Soy Boys started saying that they can't play without them because it would hurt their wrist, even though these things are basically just keyboards, which are famous for hurting people's wrists. But it became taboo.
I ain't gonna lie. I've never had a wrist problem with a keyboard. And I will say, using a regular joystick, it did add a lot of stress on especially like my left wrist. Using the hitbox, like it just feels way more ergonomic, but you can play on what you want. And by the way, most of the last Evo champions were pad players. You fucking scrub. A lot of fighting games, like especially now, just because of like their engines and stuff like that and how like certain inputs are now, they're a lot easier for pad players. They are. Hey, if he wants to pull this up, though, hey, let me tell you how many times people said I was cheating when I actually first got my fight stick for Tekken Tag 2 and Soul Calibur 5. I actually had a friend call me something very derogatory because I was playing on a fight stick and I was able to do Nightmare AGAs. Are fight sticks cheating, too? Just don't let that slide. You cherry picking fucking scrub.
So it once was an even...
Actually, most people still use pad. You're...
playing field, or at least way more even playing field, just feels poison now. You go online and people are moving in ways that you can't even do on your controller. They can block 10 frames faster than you.
Snake Eyes mostly plays on pad, and he plays with Geef, and he does all of that. That's a skill issue. Punk plays mostly on pad, and he can do everything. He played on pad. He knows how to play on stick and shit. He knows how to play on everything, but he plays on pad mostly. That's his tournament style, is pad. He was taking names back in Ultra Street Fighter 4 before he really burst onto the scene in 5. He had Just Fring Tinkos on pad. Yeah, like sometimes people just switch back to pad because they're lazy. I don't like playing fighting games on pad. I never did. I always felt like, playing on a regular controller was clunky, especially in like a competitive sense. So I switched to fight stick, and eventually I switched to hitbox because like I just wanted to try it. I like trying a lot of things that are introduced in the fighting game space. And I like hitbox. Like I just never found a reason to go back. I just like it, right? It just feels cool. It looks cool too. But,
they just push a button while you have to move your big ass fight stick lever over. I pull up to the function.
Okay, so like, then why are we still losing to pad players and still regular joystick fight stick players then? It's not the controllers. You are a scrub. Oh my God. And this nigga David, this nigga Perfect Combo, had the audacity to say this nigga is cooking. That was his caption when he sent me this on fucking Discord. Look, man's cooking. He's burning water.
And people laugh because my stick weighs 50 pounds. We finished the match and I can't even stand up.
Oh my God, Scorp, you're just gonna have to wait until the video comes out. Oh man, you're just gonna have to wait for like the whole thing. I'm not going through this again.
Because my legs are asleep from my 600.
This is gonna be a long ass video, by the way, y'all.
My opponent is running off to all the hoes in the corner. Now 2XKO basically just pushes them as the main peripheral, so many zoomers are just...
Because it doesn't matter for 2XKO though, because one, this is the really cool, hip, and awesome, like, you know, controller type setup, right? Like everybody wants to, they're intrigued about this. Why would you not do this? This was the same thing when Mad Catz and everybody start bringing out fucking branded fight sticks. Xbox had their own fight stick. PlayStation, they have a new one. It's either out or it's coming out, right? Also, 2XKO has no inputs, so it doesn't matter.
It's gonna be introduced to fighting games with these things. Cheaters.
But then I lose the fuck.
And then you're calling me a cheater. You're a fucking scrub. Oh my god, this guy is so bad, bro. Whoa! You want to know the problem with modern fighting games? It's two problems. The devs are dumb. And also the devs are catering to you. You're garbage. Please stop playing these games. I actually don't want to see you play these games anymore. I'm actually gatekeeping. You are garbage. You are a scrub. You have no idea what you're talking about. You really aren't like that for real. You really aren't like that for real. And if you see this reaction video, I want you to hit me up and pick any fighting game and we can run a 1st to 10 for money. I want to see if you're actually as bad as I think you are. And if you don't want to run it, this proves everything I just said just now. These games are made for you. Oh my God.
Box Pikachu. Cheater! Cheater!
Number 2, the soul is gone. The soul and vibe of these games is just completely dead. I'm just going to show you some different scenes from old versions of these games and new versions of these games, and you tell me which one you think has the most soul. Which one makes you want to live in that world?
All right, here we go. I mean, okay, this is unfair. This is unfair. I mean, Soul Calibur 2 is fucking amazing. This is one thing, though. A lot of fighting games, they don't have opening movies anymore. They don't. I don't know why they don't, but they don't have opening movies anymore. Fatal Fury does. Dude, I love attract screens, bro. Like, that was godlike when you booted that shit up. Okay, so that's actually not bad. That's really not bad, though. But yeah, Soul Calibur 2 was a little better, but that's really not bad. Also, that wasn't the attract screen, by the way. That was literally the start of the fucking Libra of Soul mode. I mean, yeah, I mean, I give you that. I give you that. Also, why is the character select screen uneven, bro? This game was trash. Like, the gameplay for it was fine. Literally everything else about this game was trash.
And reason number 1, people don't just play the best versions of these games, and I don't understand why. Alright, and number 1, this is basically the whole reason I made this video. This shit makes me so mad. Why don't people just play the good games? We have the good games still. We can just play them. It fixes every problem.
I mean, that's facts, though.
Why don't Street Fighter players just play Third Strike?
Because Street Fighter 3 Third Strike almost killed the series, and it's not even actually the best Street Fighter. It's just popular because everybody wants to try to mimic the Daigo moment, and nobody can convince me fucking otherwise. I do love watching Cooperation Cup, though. I don't think it's a bad game, but it almost killed the series. If you want a really good example of old Street Fighter, literally pick any of the Alpha games, especially Alpha 3. I'm tired of this revisionist history, bro.
Why don't Tekken players just play 5DR?
They still do. The problem is, not everybody has a computer, so they can't play on the emulator, and they don't want to go through all that mess to be able to play online. And also, 5DR was actually also broken. It was actually broken.
Why don't Soul Calibur players just come back to Soul Calibur?
I mean, a lot of Soul Calibur players play everything, bro. Like you have no idea about us Soul Calibur heads. We be on Dolphin. We be on like that fucking newly released 3 with net play. We still be on 6. You know what I mean? Like we still be on that shit. Nah, niggas is still playing it. Don't worry, niggas is still playing it.
Calibur 2. Why don't MK players just play MK9?
They are. And we're still hoping that they re-release it with like better netcode and maybe fix some of the stuff. We are going back to the old MKs. Look at Super's videos. He's always finding players on everything. Look at Rewind's videos. He's always playing against MK9 sweats. Look at an Unbearable Skill. Watch his stream. He's always on X. He's on everything. X, 1, well, not 11. 11 was garbage. 9 sometimes. So I think a thing that's happening here with this section is that I think this guy is underestimating the fact that the FGC still is playing what they want to play. The big problem is that either A, these games don't have good net play, and they don't have that many friends around them that play fighting games at a level that won't make that that won't make somebody quit frame 1 because somebody is a little too good at it. So bad net code. They're not as active because the new games are coming out. See, this is the thing with like Virtual Fighter, right? You know what I mean? Like, we like activity. We like turning on the game, booting it up, and being able to play like with a bunch of people, like straight up. Like, we don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops. But we are still going back to play these games. We are.
Why don't Guilty Gear players just play Plus R?
They are. They still are. There's actually a lot of people on Steam usually playing Plus R. Especially the anime community, they will always go back and play the older games. They'll play everything. You're underestimating the fact that like people are playing still everything that they want to play. Yeah, Street Fighter 6 is the most popular thing. Street Fighter 6 is also pretty good. But like, I mean, yeah, people are going to be attracted more to the newer games, but they still will revisit these games. How a lot of these big majors have big ass main stage brackets for the older games. You've never watched Combo Breaker. You've never watched Frosty Faustix. You only watch Evo. That's all you watch. You only watch Evo.
Well, the reason is that people like to play games that their influences play. So if the top players are all playing the new game because Bandai Namco is going to give Arslan $10,000 for winning the tournament, then people are going to watch them and want to play that game.
You don't have to learn shit if you pick a game with a small group of friends and agree not to lab. I mean, that's facts, but like, I like to lab and I like to win, right? So, I need activity. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, that's me. I have a naturally competitive spirit. I was always competitive in like sports and shit. And this is a fighting game. There's a winner and a loser. I want to fucking win. That's not too toxic, right? Like, I want to fucking win. I need a reason to win. But I will go back and play these older games. I've been playing Soul Calibur 6 lately. I played a bunch of Soul Calibur 3. I didn't play on Netplay yet. Rev, me and you play Soul Calibur 2. Well, we haven't played it in a while, but we've played it. I'll go back and play DOA 5. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'll go touch Street Fighter 4. The reason why it seems like the numbers are so inflated for like the newer games is because, well, one, they're newer. And two, especially because apparently you only watch Evo. More people are going to sign up for the bigger games because that's a chance at bigger glory. But if even just like 100 people are signing up for like one of the lower games, that's a lot of fucking people. I hope you know that. People are still showing up for Killer Instincts. Killer Instincts. You're not really part of this, aren't you? You're not really part of the FGC, aren't you? You don't really do anything. Are you one of those people that like just sit in the house and play online? Do you play any of these? Any of them? Again, hit me up. 1st to 10, any game you want, bro.
Though it absolutely sucks. It's really frustrating because Melee proved that a dedicated fan base can keep a game alive and keep the competitive scene actually healthier than the newest game in its own IP. Sure, it's
the bigger reason why the Melee scene is as big as it is because for a while, literally until Ultimate, every other release of Smash has been fucking gutter trash. And also everybody wants to be Leffen. So it's literally the same. It's literally a contradiction to your argument when you were saying that everybody wants to play the game that their influence is playing, right? Everybody wants to play the game that their influence is playing, but why do people still like Melee? Because Leffen's still playing it, because Mango was playing it, because Nintendo was playing it, because fucking Hungrybox, still plays it. They want to be around them. And then also, what Scorpion Child is pointing out, it's a party game / fighting game. It is a fighting game. I'm sorry. Like, it's another unpopular opinion. Smash is a fighting game. Smash also has a bunch of criminals in their community. But it's like off base. It has characters that are recognizable enough to where, you may want to like look at it, because there really aren't that many complicated mechanics, like, straight up input wise, but then you have to learn about like positioning and stuff. And that's when it gets like really tough. Right. But yeah, going back to your influences thing, that's why everybody still was playing Melee, because all the rest of the games they were releasing until Ultimate was garbage, but also everybody just wants to play what Leffen and Hungrybox and Mango and everybody that I was talking about is fucking playing. It's the same fucking shit that you just said. It's the same fucking shit that you just said, bro.
Starting to fall off now because nobody wants to watch IBDW versus A number 9000. But this is my number one gripe about fighting games nowadays. I'm gonna try and get as many new people into Soul Calibur 2 in my Discord server as I can, but that's all I can do. We already have the incredible fighting games made, guys.
You play Soul Calibur 2? Fight me!
You can play them.
This nigga exposed himself. There ain't no way you being this scrubby and you play Soul Calibur 2, bro. You don't want it. I'm joining your Discord. I'm infiltrating. I'm about to fuck you up.
Rest of our lives.
No way.
They're that good. Maybe when they all eventually make it to Fightcade or something, then someone with a vision can make the scene happen. It'll be called the retro fighting game community or something.
That already fucking exists. Oh my god, you actually don't look at anything. You literally are only looking at it in your bubble. You don't care about the community. You only care about your Discord. They're doing that. They've been doing that. That's never not been a thing. Even when I started like in the actual like community, like really getting into the FGC, people were still playing the way older games. I was. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my commie. Oh man. Oh lord. Oh man. Oh man. No. Okay. Never mind, guys. He's not a scrub. He just has no clue. Okay, cool. Like I didn't want to be like this coming into this video. I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. I did not want to come off like this to this guy. I wanted to give him the respect. But the problem is that he also has no respect for the FGC because he is not really in it. He's not really looking at anything. And some of these conclusions and stuff that he's drawing are very, very flawed and very wrong. Like, very, very wrong. He's a tourist.
God, I'm old. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subbing. If you want to play old fighting games with me, consider joining the channel to get access to the exclusive Discord. I have a whole FGC section in there.
Oh, I gotta join your channel? I gotta pay to get in your fucking Discord too? I gotta pay to get in your fucking Discord? You're garbage. Yeah. Look, best opinion haver, change your fucking name, man. I'm sorry, bro. Look, I wanted to come in with respect, but you actually have no idea what you're talking about, dog. I'm gonna edit this up, or this is about to be a really long video. My man, Nah, this is gonna be a long ass video, y'all. Get ready for, y'all like long form content, just get ready for the long form content. Dude, I don't know what to say. Send no hate to Best Opinion Haver, but let all the hate come from me. Best Opinion Haver, you are fucking trash. Whenever you don't want to hide behind your paywall for me to play you in Soul Calibur 2, hit me up if you see this video, dog. I will gladly play you in a 1st to 10 for money. Because I mostly play the new games, but I would run your jewels in the older ones too. And show you why a lot of your stuff is flawed. We can also actually sit down and have a conversation. I won't yell at you for like the first 5 minutes. We can sit down and have a real conversation on Discord if you want. Like comparing like our ideals. And I think I can give you more of like an insider's like opinion of like somebody that actually is heavily involved with the FGC. I think I could help you out with that. you know, if you want to have a sit down. But first, I want to fuck you up on Soul Calibur. Thanks for watching.